Welcome to another Pattaya podcast. It's Friday night.
Friday night
just
again.
Friday night at the pub. The early morning sun is streaming through the windows if you're watching on YouTube. And it's me. My name is Phil, otherwise known as Misteregg. And who's on the couch with us today?
We've got Piggy in the middle, which is Balloon Chaser, so that's me.
And who's that on the end? Who's that jolly JP chappy?
I don't know. I haven't got like a silly name like Balloon Chaser or Misteregg.
Silly?
Shall I say I'm Mark that runs the Breakfast Club? That's how most people abuse me in Pattaya. So yeah,
Mark
from
Flack
the Breakfast Club.
From the Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club Pattaya. Yeah.
Just before we start, we'll talk about the Breakfast Club in 10 seconds, but just before we
sure.
start, we've decided to record this today on Monday. They are doing renovations at the bar opposite and also the bar next door and then the bar next door to that. They're on their lunch breaks at the moment, but any minute there's going to be a lot of noises off, so I do apologise about that. But hey, that's Thailand at the moment.
Can we get a new name for Flacky?
What?
I think I heard him say he wants a silly name like you and me.
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Mr. Fat. I don't know.
Wasn't going to mention it.
Hey, I've been out walking this morning.
This sofa's feeling a bit smaller than it usually does. It's all so tilted.
What a way to start.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Okay, so, and also, by the way, things might happen. I've ordered a new sofa, made to measure fit sofa, and I think I did explain to them not to deliver it today, but my tie's not brilliant, and it might have been that they've said
it must be delivered today at whatever time it is right now.
I've got to be honest with you, right, though. I don't know what you're worried about with the old engineers outside, right? Oh, they're on their lunch break, right? That could be until Wednesday, right? And I still remember when I first moved over to Thailand and they said, like, oh, yeah, the engineers will be here first thing in the morning, and it just doesn't work out that way. That being said, they'll probably burst in a minute, but,
I mean, to be fair,
DIT.
They're not busy because they're the guys who are fixing Second Road with the roadworks there, so they haven't got anything on at the moment.
Is it me or is this Pattaya continuously under like repair and they're digging stuff up and all that? I've had it outside my condo where it was a nightmare, and then they came back and had to do it all over again.
What's the reason behind that? What excuse have they given?
Do you know what? We're going on Alan Partridge and the with the one-way system in Norwich, aren't we? Where he talks about. Oh, do you know what? I don't know, but I mean. I think it boils down to the fact, right, that the infrastructure in Pattaya, the sleepy little fishing village all those years ago, wasn't really geared up for mass tourism. And what we've got, we've seen, is mass tourism. I mean, look at the size of some of the hotels where they're built, and look at the roads that lead onto them. So when you've got 20, 30 coaches, it just blocks it all up.
The only thing about that is, like, you do it the first time and you fix it, and then it's fixed for a number of years. Or you do it the Pattaya way, which is you do it the first time. The day that it's finished, you then start digging up the same piece of road, and the whole thing turns into.
I won't hear you slag off our host nation. They have some of the best engineers in the world.
Well, they do, because they're so well practiced, because they've got something to do every day, and it's the same job that they had last month and last year.
They follow the strictest guidelines. How dare you?
I do love it when, like, the mayor comes out, or whoever he is, and he goes, this whole project is going to be finished in October. But he never says the year, does he?
I know.
Like, it's going to be finished in some month in the year, but it could be this year, next year, or the year after, because it's all the same, isn't it?
I know. I mean, like, how long did the old underpass at Sukhumvit Road? I mean, it took even longer than Wembley Stadium to get built, didn't it?
It did, but
they did a good job.
Everybody say, oh, it'll get flooded? Why are they doing it? It'll get flooded. Don't they know what they're doing? It's never been flooded once, has it?
It's a masterpiece.
It's an engineering masterpiece.
Yeah,
I tell you what, if anyone's coming on holiday, you've got to try our underpass. It's absolutely. I know that'll be on the top of the list.
10 seconds off your journey time, Flacky.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wish to. Oh, this is an international podcast, is it not? Is it an underpass or is it a subway?
So, Flacky, the Breakfast Club.
Is it an underpass or a subway?
Let us know in the comments.
There's a picture on Facebook this week with a subway sandwich shop. above a subway. It says it's the first time ever there's been a subway above a subway.
The only interesting thing about Subway, to be honest with you, was when they had that Italian nutcase, right, that was on top of the the tourist that was on top of the building on Soy Bacau, and he decided to throw everything over the balcony, didn't he, one night? And when they interviewed him, I think the police came out and turned around and said, we did detect small traces of marijuana. My God, the guy was absolutely on level 12. So let's just end that. It's a tunnel. It's not. I'm having it. It's a tunnel.
All right, it's a tunnel.
Subway on a subway. So we'll have about 5 YouTube videos about that probably by the end of the week. Of course. So anyway, Mark, as you can see, is a bit of a lively person. We love to have him on the show. Second time, first time we visited, I think.
We did.
I think we did one during.
We did.
You think you're finished with him, but he just comes back again.
It was a couple of years. It was a couple of years ago, actually, when it was COVID, didn't we? And we walked up a deserted Soy 8. And
no. We did a podcast.
Oh, we did a podcast. I can't remember what.
We did a podcast, or you did.
Yeah.
I think I wasn't on that one. You did a podcast. You did a walk down Soy 7 and 8. And you did a walk down Walking Street.
Well, the big news, isn't there? Like when we walked down, it was deserted, and I walked down it this morning, and it's still pretty much crap, isn't it? It's still, unfortunately, COVID hasn't.
What?
And COVID
Fighting talk. Dissing the manor.
But well, no. I mean, listen. I think there's signs of life down on Soy 7 in particular. But the big news, wasn't it, is the old famous Pig and Whistle is under renovation. So somebody's they're in there. Chinese. Somebody's in there, and they're knocking it out. I think it's going to be a restaurant again.
Yes,
massive investors apparently.
Yes, Flacky. And you know what nationality of restaurant is going to be?
Chinese.
Yes,
but traditional. Oh, that is I like the link here.
Segue.
Phil.
I think it's
by the way, we didn't even plan that.
Is that
we?
called the Segway? Is that
Segway.
a Segway? I think it's
Segway.
Segway.
Oh,
Not Subway. No, Segway. Segway into it then.
So Flacky, before we go on about Chinese food, which may or may not pop into the conversation, let's talk about your Facebook group, which, I mean, for me, Pattaya Facebook groups, many of them turn out to be a little bit of a bear pit sometimes. But it's a breakfast club. It's basically a food group, right?
Yeah, I mean...
And it's very, very popular.
But like yourself... I don't know what it is with Pattaya in particular, because we go back before the old Facebook days and we remember the forums, and there was people always, it just seems to be, right, if you can mention anything about Pattaya, somebody will want to have an argument with you about it, right? And that's, I've never really understood that. Like, I remember years ago on the old Pattaya Talk website, and somebody's, you got any suggestions on like taxis? Oh yeah, well I use, I don't know, Mr. Dream or Mr. Toon or whatever, and that turned into a thread about an argument. No, you can't. I've had him, and it's. I don't know what makes. Sometimes I think trying to put some sort of like semblance into it. I think the Pattaya is one of the most competitive cities, because it's such a small city. Everyone's competing with each other for business and things like that. And when you have a group like, obviously, like I run the food group. I run it as a hobby, despite what anyone thinks. I don't get kickbacks or freebies, but I run it purely as a hobby. But of course, we get restaurants, and they all can advertise and promote in it free of charge. But yeah, it does become a bit of a bear pit, and but that's just part and parcel of a Pattaya media, I guess. You know.
Yeah. But you're getting like what, 70 posts a day or something like that. When I was, it's quite a lot in it. It's busy.
Do you know what? Honestly, I'd have to count. I mean, some days are busier than others. I mean, comments, posts, interactions. I mean, they all add up. It's a busiest group. I just hope that if anybody is looking at it, is that they've just found some really cool ideas of nice places to go when they're over on holiday or they live here, because really and truly that's what it's all about. You know, that's genuinely the whole ethos of the group. But of course, again, you can't sort of run something with good intentions and still have people go, oh, do you know what? No, he's getting free bread and butter, and oh my God, he got an extra slice of flack, which I've got to turn around and say, it does. That's the one thing. I'm not allowed to swear, am I?
Yeah, no, you can. No.
I've
got a button.
I'll tell you what, right? It pisses me off.
Oh,
that's not
too
too
late.
bad, is it? Right? It pisses me off because there are certain Pattaya media, mainly video content, right, who will go in and charge a restaurant to do a video, right? We'll eat all the free food,
That's
get the
a
money,
good
and then
idea.
put the stuff on. Yeah, if I have so much as an extra slice of lamb on my roast dinner, it's kickback time. I mean, come off it. Do you know what I mean? If you really wanted to go into a deep dive about sort of people that anyway.
What's been it? Cast your mind over how many years is it now, Flacky?
I think it's over 10, isn't it?
10 years.
Must be over 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years, 12 years, something like that. Yeah, 10 years.
Either the pettiest or the funniest argument about the most banal, smallest thing. Can you think of one in particular?
Oh, the one that stands out instantly was when there was a small portion of mushy peas served with fish and chips at the old Retox, and it escalated into over 800 comments, and even to the stage that the old owner of Retox went out and got all his staff give peas a chance, right? T-shirts, right? I think we made the Bangkok Post as well. We've been quoted in the Bangkok Post a couple of times. I mean, it's been. But listen, it's been fun. I still love doing it. I mean, deep down, and the reason why I still do it is because I do love doing it. I do love.
I thought he was going to say
out.
he loves food, and we were going to say, yeah, we know that.
Well, listen, I do. Look, if you live in Pattaya, the fact is, and this is something that a lot of people, I think, struggle, those that come on holiday and they don't go into the supermarkets and stuff like that, is the reality is it's cheaper to eat out than actually buy in the food yourself. That's the thing, that what you're saving. The other day, I thought to myself, do you know what? A jacket potato, tuna, mayo and all this. Well, the time you actually buy the mayo, it's 180 baht. Then the jacket potato is another 50 baht. Oh, you need cheese to go on top. Well, cheese ain't cheap out here. That's going to be another 150 baht. By the way, right, so you're up to now past 400. You might as well just gone to Robin Hood, right? Got Max to do it. Or one of the staff. You get it for 295 or whatever with a drink. You don't have to worry about cooking it or anything, you know?
That's me with Indian food. I like Indian food, right? And I think I can't eat out at Indian restaurants all the time. So I decided to buy microwave from the supermarket, some rice from the supermarket, bit of bread to go with it. Guess what? That's a far more expensive way than going in your local Indian restaurant. Yeah,
I mean, there's some great. Listen, there is some apps in Pattaya. There are some absolutely great deals for food, and you know, in many places, you could even argue when people turn around and say, "How are they making money?" They're not. But right? They're trying to get customers through the door.
Here's what I'm interested in.
And sell the bar.
I'm interested on your take on this. I've just had breakfast actually with a friend who's over from the UK at the moment.
Yeah,
he hasn't been for a couple of years. He says the food is getting better and better in Pattaya. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, I agree.
Because there seems to be just like more places, more choice.
No, you've got El Gaucho, brand spanking new steakhouse from Bangkok, which is open.
Yeah.
Now, you put that on my food group and you'll get comments like ridiculously overpriced, really expensive, I wouldn't pay
packed
it, blah, blah, blah. Again, it's packed every night.
Packed every night.
It's packed every night.
Restaurant.
So it's not representative of, you know, social media, very important, and people reach out and all that type of stuff. But there is a fallacy, in my opinion, that people won't pay. Listen, there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money in this town, and there's a lot of good customers. And as I said, you know, some of those restaurants, even over COVID, where people turn around and said, "Oh, Pattaya will die without tourism." Well, they underestimated the fact that we've got Bangkok just down the road. And I still think now, we're going off on a slight tangent, but whatever. I still think now, when town is busy over the weekend, some people, they always turn around and say, "Oh yeah, because you know it's the tourists and the influx." I think we get a lot of expats from Bangkok that come down here over the weekend for one reason or another, and you know, and long may it continue, because as I said, you know, we all want to see a thriving town, and standards, you know, going up, especially with the I mean, I think back, Phil, to when I first came out here. I still remember being in a beer bar, and you know, you were lucky if you got 1 or 2 Premier League games right on in that beer bar, right?
Yeah.
You were lucky if you saw the scores come through on that black screen. I'm sure people might remember, which had all the divisions, right? And it used to scroll through, a bit like, right?
Was it like the teleprompter?
And if you missed it, you'd have to wait about 25 minutes
For it to scroll around
for your
again.
team to come back again, or phoning. And now look what you've got. You've got everything broadcast live, access to absolutely every. You know, when people turn around and say, well, I remember Pattaya back in the day, it was better then. No, it wasn't. It's better now. It's miles better now than it ever has been.
Do you remember when everything was satellite before the internet, and there used to be like a rainstorm or something? And
Knock everything out.
Everything would go out, but nobody complained, did they?
No.
Yeah,
They just sat there, and it was like, oh.
That was part of the
we'll be back in
excitement, though,
5
wasn't it?
minutes,
Well, like
yeah.
when it came back on, suddenly your team was 3-0 down or something like that.
Unless you support the Albion.
We used to. That's what. I remember when my team QPR got relegated again, and old Adam from the Cherry Bar came over, put his arm around me, and went, "You'll be playing your football next year at the Metro Apartments," because that was the only place that showed championship games. With luckily, thanks to the internet, I can watch them now. Get beat most of the time on QPR TV live from the comfort of my own home.
So, Flacky,
Yeah,
somebody who's into marketing.
a little bit. Yeah.
What would you say is the biggest, and you're into food, as obviously, because of your food group.
I thought you were going
Nothing
to
about-
say
nothing
because
about-
you're a fat.
so
But where's that bleep button?
He's sensitive,
So
isn't he?
sensitive,
He's sensitive.
isn't he? Sensitive.
Can we get a filter on this? Like one of those thin
What
filters.
do you think is, and I hate to be negative, but what do you think is the biggest mistake that most restaurants in Pattaya make?
Blimey, that's a big question, isn't it? Okay, so I'd instantly have to think of people that I thought had a good concept that didn't do well without kind of naming them. Okay, sometimes you can go far too niche, right? And I'm not turning around and saying that's a bad thing, but I think if, for example, you try and do something which is really, really niche, you're gambling straight away. So that's
People
one
have
of
a
the
passion, don't they? They say, "Oh, I really like Spanish food," or "I really like Tex-Mex," or something like that.
That's
Like
what
a
I was
fusion
thinking.
food.
That's
I've seen a few of those.
That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, I know who you're thinking about.
Yeah, I know. And because there was nothing wrong with the food, it was just I don't think it appealed to so many people. But you've got there's a whole kind of mix in terms of what will make a good restaurant and what won't, in my opinion, in Pattaya. And you need a lot of things to go your way. Look, location is really important, but then if you want a good location in Pattaya, then you're going to have to pay.
Yeah.
You've got to get your product right, which means that you do need good people in the kitchen. You've got to be able to market it as well. Social media is going to be absolutely vital for you. Then you've got to get all your customer service right and everything. I think it's a really, really tough market.
I don't know anything about restaurants, but those restaurants that have got like a menu that's thick, like how much wastage do they get in that sort of thing? Do you think when they start off, if they got too much variety on there, it's a problem or not?
Well, if you look at Luca at Toscana, right? Luca's got a huge menu, but Luca is essentially an organic Italian restaurant from from Tuscany,
right.
And Luca's got his own farm, right? So he, this is not very
got
technical.
very big hands as well.
He makes his own animals to kill,
Wow.
So he's got a huge menu, but they make everything. So, but again, it is very, very difficult. I mean, look, there's if you look at Flame, right, which is on Soy Lenki, that's a brand spanking new steak restaurant, and I think he's got his product really, really good. Did he see the fact that El Gauchos are opening just down the road when he launched it? No. Would that have affected his business? Blimey, probably. And it's just I think also, Phil, getting back to your original question, and I know this is not going to make me popular or whatever, but when you start too cheap and then you try and make it up by putting your prices up later, everyone then turns around and accuses you of overcharging or it's a rip-off or anything like that. And you got to remember that if you do start low, right, people love a bargain in this town, and they'll come in and they'll milk you for that bargain, and then you'll never see them again.
The problem is people have the impression, in my opinion, that people think that, I'm going to get loyalty. I'm going to get loyalty to my brand. There is zero loyalty in this town to a business.
I remember here was one, and this has always stuck with me. All right, and this was on my food group actually. So there was an app called Hungry Now. Do you remember that app?
Believe Chaser, looking at you.
Well, looking at me, I think didn't I predict it was going to fail?
Yes, but you milked it like a.
No. In fact, the only product placement we've ever had on Le Pub channel, I seem to remember, didn't that come from Hungry Now? Didn't you get a free meal?
Oh, was that Hungry Now?
You mean those nice people at Hungry?
Those lovely people at Hungry Now.
Hold on, was that
the one that you did with Lucas and all that?
Oh, I thought it was the one. Apologies. Yes.
Well, it's not mate.
Well,
it's him.
I've fallen on my sword.
Well,
You've fallen on it, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you why it's always stuck with me.
That were very nice. They gave me 10,000 baht, which I gave to charity. I gave to charity.
You won the quiz.
Yes.
10,000 baht.
Oh, that was it.
And Martin from NDT VI has never forgiven me.
Well,
because he reckoned that
they
he
were
won.
solvent before they paid him that. That was the straw that broke the camel's back.
I gave it to charity.
Well,
but you don't like to talk about it. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
I remember. So the Hungry
What were you going to tell us about Hungry Now? Sorry.
Listen, Hungry Now, good app, by the way, nothing wrong with it. I used it. And they had loads and loads of deals on there for restaurants. They managed to get some restaurants doing unbelievable deals. And I remember there was like an Indian restaurant that did a deal which was like a chicken tikka masala. You got some rice, you got some naan bread and poppadons.
Stop talking about food.
That's why I ate just before I came here.
And it was, I think they used to do it at, I can't remember exactly, but it was like 199 or 299. So when the Hungry Now app ended, so did all of those restaurant offers. Okay. So, getting back to the point. So, I remember on my group, there was people going, oh, gutted that it's gone. I'll never be able to get that deal again and all that. Well, hold on. The restaurants are all still there.
Yeah.
You can still arrange for it to be delivered, but you're just going to have to pay what the menu prices are.
Yeah.
And I remember, absolutely not. I'm not being ripped off. So, the thing is, like, by the way, right, it's down to the customers, by the way. The customers take advantage of the offers that the restaurants put out there, and who can blame them? I get it, right? But as you touched on, Phil, and put it quite succinctly, how many places have we seen that are absolutely packed when they're doing these amazing offers, and then as soon as that price point goes up, they're deserted, right?
Yeah,
I mean, remember when Retox had a breakfast which was 99 baht? Back in the day, I always use Retox as an example because they were one of the first to really get on Facebook, market it, cheap breakfast, sport, blockbuster lunches and all that kind of stuff. And there's loads and loads of other places that do similar things now, actually. But I remember when somewhere just down the road opened and launched an 89 baht breakfast. And overnight, they lost 50 customers a day.
Wow.
50, right? Over 10 baht.
10 baht, yeah.
You wouldn't, and do you know what? And
Price
people
sensitive,
think,
innit?
and people think that price. Look, and I get. We've got an awful lot of people that are out here on budgets, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you've just got to be really, really careful with relation to how you price everything up, your location, have you got experience, how you're going to market. By the way, right? There's loads and loads of successful new places that have opened and that are doing really well. On my group, Sunflower on Pratt & Mac that's just opened. They're worth a shout out. Yeah. They're doing absolutely brilliant.
Very good, yeah.
I mean, fair play to them. I'm hearing great things of Cobb & Co over on the dark side. They've done brilliant. Paddy's another place over on the dark side. They're knocking out some great food as well.
Yeah.
There's loads of new places which are offering great food at reasonable prices, and they're doing well. And you know what? They deserve all the support.
Yeah.
You know.
A really big picture on things is that I think Pratt & Mac 4 and 5 has just exploded in the last 2 years.
It's absolutely flying.
I mean,
if
bigger
you
than
go
Soy 7 now.
Yeah,
it's bigger than Soy 7.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you've got Bentley's down in Pratt & Mac as well, which is the Old Rogues Retreat. It's another one that's doing really well.
And Snug and the Bottom Sands.
Yeah, and there's a new one opening. I think is called Pret. It looks like a Pret-a-Manger.
Yeah, it does.
Have they ripped off? I'm not sure if is that
Maybe
the
they
Pret-a-Manger
I asked exactly
group,
the same question.
or is it a rip-off?
Is it opened already? Yeah.
It's like, because like the Rolling Stones bar I was devastated. I never saw Mick Jagger. I was drinking in there every night for 8 years, and then I found out that it wasn't even their bar group. But
yeah, they got a cease and desist, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they got
yeah.
into trouble for that.
I mean, it looks like a pret-a-manger,
it looks like a pret-a-manger.
which, if anybody's tuning in not from the UK, is a very, very popular London-centric sort of sandwich.
Yeah,
coffee
basically,
place.
right. It's a prawn cocktail sandwich, isn't it? And they charge you about 20 quid for it, but or 1,000 baht.
Cynicism.
Good
Oh, I
coffee,
remember
though.
the price.
Good
Listen, I
coffee.
used to work in Canary Wharf. I remember going for lunch there. You're thinking to yourself, blimey.
But seriously, I think 5 and 4 now, Pratamak, it's
Flying, isn't it?
it's an entertainment zone now.
Yeah,
Definitely. It wasn't a few years ago.
No.
And I always thought, because of the royal residents in that area, that they would never ever allow that to get really big and loud and
Yeah.
everything, but it is. It's massive now.
Well, you've got, don't forget as well, you've got sort of, I mean, Pratnack you can do a good night out on now. I mean, if you wanted to
Definitely.
do a bar crawl, you could
Yeah.
do a big night out there. So,
Yeah.
and there's, as I said, there's loads and loads of new bars and new restaurants that are opening all the time. I mean, like, you know, you've got Sans Soda, Sans Cafe as well. They're doing quite
If
quite
you're
well.
going to
They-
do a bar crawl, you
down
just
in
need
that
to
area.
make it a bit flatter, though. I mean, walking up that hill, bloody hell.
Bar crawls. Do people still go on the bar crawls?
But apparently so.
Yeah.
Yes.
They do,
everyone else,
don't they?
yeah.
Like my mate Adam at the Cherry Bar still dragging people off to Bang Chang on the
bless
first of
him.
every month.
Bless him. Bless him. He's an inspiration.
He's been going for 20 years up to Bang Chang.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
But actually, Balloon Chaser,
Yes, mate.
a night out in Pratamak might be a very good
A night out
Video.
in Pattaya,
Video.
it's my neck of the woods. So
video. Yeah, cool.
why not?
Again, sorry for the noises off. That was bound to happen at any time. So, there are now...
Is that your stomach, Phil?
No, it's not.
No.
It's my teeth grinding.
Oh, dear.
So, as well as having the food group, in relation to food, you also, Mark, are help promote a delivery service, British Chinese. Tell us about that, Flacky.
Do you know what? They couldn't have timed that better. I bet you that was one of our competitors that's gone right. He's on the rampage. All right, okay. So it's my girlfriend's business. That's the first thing. And you know, she's built it up over the past 3 years. It's UK style Chinese, and it's delivered directly to your home. So she doesn't have a sit-in restaurant or anything like that. It's literally, you can order it online via a Facebook page, which is Chinese Takeaway by Pimmy. There's a full menu available, which has got all your favourites, right? If you want your UK prawn crackers, if you want your chow mains, if you want your sweet and sour pork balls, and all
Kong
of that,
style.
yeah, she does Hong Kong style and all that type of stuff, and salt and pepper prawns.
Stop it, mate.
So what was the... When Pimmy, who's a brilliant chef, and some people might remember her from... What was the place in...
She had a place called Voodoo.
Voodoo,
She worked in a
that was it,
restaurant.
yeah.
She's
That's the
worked,
first time I remembered her.
yeah, she qualified. She was at Voodoo.
She went Secrets for a while.
She went to Secrets. So, yeah, she was working basically in the kitchen, helping them design the new menu.
Yeah.
And she was at Trattoria Toscana with Luca Marchetti, doing all pasta food. She was executive chef at Retox when Simon launched Retox, and she was essentially she wanted to always do something on her own, and she loved UK Chinese when I took her to the UK, and we went to Chinatown, and she really enjoyed that. So it was launched over COVID. That's why we did it as a delivery service. Because at the time all the restaurants were closed, you couldn't even. So it was targeting mainly the expats that miss the kind of UK Chinese food. But I think something that's quite important is that the recipes that she's using are just like your local Chinese takeaway. We, make sure that it's a good portion, and that essentially everything arrives, tasty and hot. She's 3.5 years into it now, so if anyone wants to follow her on Facebook, if I can give it a plug, Phil.
Yeah, no problem. I'll give I'll put a link in the YouTube.
I've always wanted to be on a channel where they say that.
Yes.
The link's in the comments. Is that what they say? The link's in the comments. Let's dive straight in.
Links
Like
in the
and
description
subscribe.
below.
Links in the description. It's the Chinese Takeaway by Pimmy. So give her a like, and if, for example, you are over here on holiday, or you're an expat and you've never tried it, and then essentially give it a go, and hopefully you'll enjoy it.
My biggest question about Chinese food, which is going to disappoint you anyway.
Yeah,
nonetheless,
sure.
It's what cartons should it be delivered in? Because I lived in
It's
London.
really important.
I lived in London. I also lived in America for a year and had Chinese takeaway over there. My issue is the sort of cardboard carton or the tin foil with the paper on the top?
We use a mixture actually, because you couldn't say, for example, you're using you're trying to deliver chips, right? You can't deliver those in like a plastic container, right? And you couldn't deliver some of the things because they're so bulky that we do in sort of like cartons, right? You couldn't put chicken curry in there; it will just go through. So like for some items we use like paper holders and all that type of stuff, and paper bags for things like prawn crackers and stuff, and we use reusable plastic containers.
Yeah.
What's your favourite thing on the menu for you personally, like? Because let's face it, it must be good.
I think one of the most, it's all good, but I think her Peking crispy duck with the pancakes and the hoisin sauce,
very nice,
which is absolutely awesome. And I think a couple of people have actually turned around and said that how she does it is actually better than some of the ones that she's had in the UK. Mongolian beef, again, this is like it's another one that she's got on the menu, is really, really, really nice. I really like that one. But I suppose you'd have to turn around and say that if you get right down to it, rather than the old specialist items which sound all flash, people like salt and pepper chips, chicken curry, Chinese style chicken curry though, because the chicken curry that she makes has got 21 separate ingredients in. It's made.
That's more than KFC.
We got it approved from my mate Alex, right, who runs the Rock House. You might know him, and Alex from Glasgow. He's a big lad, and he likes his Chinese. He knows his Chinese. You're not going to get. He's eaten a lot of it, and we sort of work with Alex to get this one right, because and you know, adjusting flavors and all that kind of stuff. It does make me laugh when people say, "Oh, you can get everything on YouTube." Let me tell you something, right? Those Chinese restaurants, right? Yeah. They don't put their menu, their secret ingredients and all that kind of stuff on YouTube. And there's a lot of stuff. Okay, so like I've said this before, it's the only one that I will give away. But in lemon chicken, one of the secret ingredients is
chicken.
Lemon. No.
Lemon. You're right, lemon. God, how on earth did you get that?
It's not that big a secret, is it?
I had no idea
I run
you were
a
in the
restaurant,
industry.
I know.
Lemon curd.
Oh wow.
Lemon curd is one of the ingredients. And like in sweet and sour, there's one for sweet and sour sauce. We don't use it, but there's a Chinese in the UK, Lucozade, that they put in their sweet and sour sauce. Lucozade. Wow. By the way, like if you know, it's Chinese is the sort of thing you should have once in a while. But
how many times do you get to eat Chinese a week on average?
Do you know what? Like most of the time, not being funny, but most of the time, she's fully booked. You know, so we do sort of encourage people to book it in advance if you can, because it helps out the kitchen. I noticed that Grab are doing that a little bit more now, asking people to book, you know, with restaurants in advance, because obviously at peak times you've got a couple of full-time delivery drivers. It's difficult to get it, you know, schedule your delivery drivers out. But as I said, it is I can maybe once a week, but sometimes once a week. I mean, hardly ever at weekends, because obviously she's been busy. Friday, Saturday, she was doing all the catering for Chinese New Year for a couple of the places out here. Sunday was regular customers. You
can mention them.
Johan was brilliant. Lady Love, and Darren at Fever was he's a gentleman, and we put the food on, and a lot of customers enjoyed it. So that was great, because of course you're getting in front of a different client base all the time. So we're trying to get her Facebook page up to a few more likes. So as I said, I would appreciate if anyone can click on, and she updates it. And by the way, just keep an eye on her Facebook page, because she'll tell you when she's got full availability and all that kind of stuff, you know. And we work off Messenger, and she'll get back to you quickly.
Flacky, you have inspired me
to order a Chinese.
Better than that. Better than that. I've just come out of the busiest weekend I've ever had in the bar, the pub here on Soy Diamond.
But Patty is dead, Phil. It's over.
It's finished.
The
destruction trucks are on the way. So, what I think we're going to do, right, when this podcast is going out this week, which is what's the date? It's the 12th, so it'll be out tomorrow, actually, the 13th. So, not this weekend, but next weekend. Yeah. Right? And I know there's a Buddha Day, but we'll work around that. I am going to order a little taster menu for a big, not a huge buffet, but you'll be able to sample some of the dishes that Pimmy does, and we'll put it on in the bar. So,
That's great.
As well as follows Pimmy's link in the description down below, please click on all my social media, and I will tell you when it's going to happen, and we will have a free buffet.
Wow.
For my loyal customers.
There you go.
Oh,
and
only the loyal
and a
ones.
few balloon chasers.
Oh, okay.
And a few balloon chasers. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, let's do that. I know there's
Thanks,
a
Phil.
Buddha.
That's nice of you.
I might even do it this weekend because next weekend is a Buddha weekend. So I'm just thinking about that now. So yeah, let's do that. No problem.
Excellent.
So Flacky, we've had you on here before. We've walked down Soy 8. We've done all sorts. We've talked about doom and gloom over the pandemic and everything.
My God, yeah.
What is your... I know that you're not going out as much at the moment, and there's a reason for that. It's not that you haven't got no money. No, because you've been watching your health, and there's something that you did in January.
I've been doing well. I tell you what I did. I went out, didn't I, on Christmas Day, and I got absolutely bladdered.
I don't believe this.
Oh, I was
it's so
smashed.
uncharacteristic.
I was smashed.
I thought you didn't believe it was Christmas
I
Day.
tell you what, I tell you what, yeah, Pat is still a brilliant night out, but I tell you what, as you get older, somebody turned around and said, are you avoiding drinking at the moment, Mark? And I said, no, I'm avoiding hangovers. Right? I think that's probably the best way of putting it. So I did dry January, and I completed that, no problem. And then I went out. Well, I saw you. I came down. I had a load of beers on February the 1st. I thought that was great. Had a great night out. Had the hangover to back it up. And I'm just trying to be a little bit more healthy this year and trying to do a little bit more exercise, get a bit of weight off, all of that type of good stuff. So my diet is still terrible. The more I exercise, the more I eat. And somebody actually turned around and said, "Oh, you're better off going back out on the piss." But no. Look, when I go out and have a drink, I'm hungover the next day. So there's a good analogy that turned around and said that alcohol is one of the greatest thieves that's ever existed, because what it will do is it'll steal all your money, and then it will nick the next day of your life as well.
Yeah.
And that's you know, and if you're constantly in that kind of going out all the time and I mean, I see some people, they've spent sort of 3 weeks over here on holiday, and they're going back absolutely wrecked. Do you know what I mean? They need to go into rehab. So as I've got a bit older, the hangovers are a little bit worse. So I'm just avoiding hangovers for a little bit.
You got given the sample of that medicine that supposedly stops hangovers. Do you remember when we were on that like gay pride day when we did a video? It's like in a yellow.
Do you remember that gay pride day is always a very, very dodgy sentence to get out.
And some beautiful person came and gave you this yellow sachet.
Right.
And it's advertised all over the place now.
Okay, I don't remember the beautiful person, and I don't remember the sachet. I probably threw it in the bin.
I'll tell you what, I had a conversation with somebody the other day, right? And they turned around and said, "Nah, I'll give you the best hangover cure. I'll give you the best hangover. You know what you need to do? What were you drinking last night?" I don't know. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. I was pissed out my head. Well, whatever you have, get up in the morning
and drink some more
and have some more of it. And like, think about how stupid that is, right? Because if you went into a hospital and you turned around and went, "Oh God, they said, "Yes, I'm afraid you've got, you know, it's terrible. You got a broken leg." Oh, okay, don't worry, we're going to make it better. We're going to break the other one. Right? It's that so kind of stupidity. Yeah. You're putting more of the stuff that's made you feel bad into your body. What it is, let me explain this. What it is, if you get up early enough and you're still pissed, right, you just carry on from the night before and delay the hangover. But I guarantee you it's going to get you at some point.
Sometimes me and Flacky go for a walk early in the morning, don't we? And,
we do,
and I'm waiting for you to arrive.
Yeah,
and I'm just looking at, it's like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just looking at some of the people that are coming home. And yeah, I am aware, and people are gonna. You can, if you want to go off at me in the comments, please do. Right? Yeah. Yes, I sell alcohol in my bar, but I don't encourage. Like, we're not one of them bars that's like, oh, let's do 10. I have never ever well, I might regret to say this, done a picture with somebody holding a shot of a rack of 10 shots.
Or like
No.
drinking a Guinness or anything like
Yeah.
that. No.
Oh yeah, there was that one. Yeah, but that was more time based. But anybody that knows me will know that I'm not the sort of person that pushes alcohol. I think this is more of a social bar than it is that sort of place. But I know people are here on holiday, and I know they're having a good time. But for me, Pattaya was always about meeting little friends, in the evening, and it was never about, because I don't know about you, but I think you can go anywhere in the world and get pissed. It's so simple, apart from certain countries in the Middle East, maybe. but other than that, you can basically go anywhere and get bladdered. Why do it? I don't understand. There are so many other things that you can do in this town.
I think when people come on holiday, do you know what though? I don't have any. By the way, right? And I said at the beginning, how people run their own lives is absolutely up to them. You want to go out and party for your people. Somebody comes over here and works really hard all year, and they want to go out for 3 weeks because this is their chance to let their hair down. Then go for it, no problem. I think what it is, Phil, is because we live here, we see an awful lot of expats that kind of like sold up everything in the UK, right? They've come out here and they want the holiday to continue. And if you're an expat, and this is the one thing that I would say, if you're an expat, going out and getting absolutely blasted every single night, you can do that. Of course you can. But you know what the saddest thing is though, right? If you actually try and approach, and I've had this a couple of times out here over the years, people that are no longer with us, you actually try and approach somebody who's got a drink, who's drinking too much, that lives over here, right? Who's out all the time and all that. And you normally get it thrown back in your face. I know what I'm doing. I'm a big boy. Leave me alone and all that. I would say to anyone that's listening, right, that's had that advice from somebody.
I don't think that's exclusive to Pattaya, though.
No, exactly. But what I would turn around and say, if you've got a message like that from one of your friends, rather than throwing it back in their face, this is what I would say, is just remember how hard it was for that friend to actually say that to you, right? And if they throw it back in your face, hey, no problem, at least you tried. But that's what I would say. But I've got to say, if you are coming out, and I will big up the alcohol industry, but if you are coming out here, I mean, you can have such a good time going out, and you don't need an awful lot of money. It's still. Yeah. I mean, like when people turn around and say, "Oh, the go-go bars are expensive, aren't they?" It's 150, or it's 175, or it's 200 a drink, right? I would still know in what country you could walk into a bar and see 40, 50 girls in, dancers, bikinis, topless sometimes or whatever, flying around a stage with no cover charge for a beer that's under a £5. I still think it's great value. Yeah. Great value.
On that subject, Flacky.
Yeah.
Purely for research purposes.
We're off to TQ2. Put your car behind the bar. Let's get on it.
And also, to say thank you to people that order your Chinese.
Yeah, of course.
You sometimes do visit those sort of places in the evenings. But
for research only purposes.
For research only, and to say thank you to good friends that order your girlfriend's Chinese. So we were talking a little bit earlier about it was 2020, 21, things were very bad. Let's have a look now. 2024, what's the Flack perspective on the whole nightlife at the moment?
I would say in general, super busy. Yeah. In general, super busy. One of the big things that's changed definitely is, so there's new bars that have opened on LK Metro. LK Metro is always really busy because you've got a cool mix down there. You've got sort of like cheap beer during the afternoons. You've got like the Billabong, which has been an institution, 2 for 1. But I remember when LK Metro used to be mainly sort of like bars, guest houses, and it's still got all of that, right? So, but now, just on LK over the past 7-8 months. I mean, Fever Go-Go has just opened. That's a new one. They're rocking it every night. You've got Lady Love, you've got Queens, you've got Kink, you've got Las Vegas, a Go-Go. I'm not sure if it's from the official Las Vegas tourist board that have opened that?
I don't think so, no.
Me neither. We could have another Rolling Stone situation on our head. Anyone that actually thinks they're going directly into Las Vegas authoritative place.
No, I know the owner of that. He's a great guy. He's a great guy.
And you look at Walking Street, and people turn around and say like, "Oh yeah, Walking Street's dead," and all that kind of stuff. Well, how come there's new go-go bars and nightclubs opening all the time, and the nightclubs are absolutely packing them in at the moment?
Busiest weekend in 7 years in this bar. Just gone.
Well, mind you, it's a pretty low bar, wasn't it? What, 7 customers?
It was a long weekend as well.
And we didn't show the Super Bowl. We didn't show the Super Bowl.
800 bar.
Seriously, you go to like 7, 8 and Soy 6 or whatever, and then you go to Walking Street, there is a huge amount of people that are walking down Walking Street.
Yeah.
But not necessarily. There's a lot of tourists there that are just casuals, as we like to call them.
I was on Phuket last week going down Bangla Road, and at certain times you could not physically walk down there. That's how busy it is.
I'm not having a pop at Walking Street because I know that the rents are really quite high down here, and we're coming you directly from a stone's throw from Walking Street. I think one of the things that is a little bit of a shame though is that some of the beer bars that once had quite a lot of character and all that type of stuff, they're charging a hell of a lot of money for beers, aren't they? You know,
and lady drinks
and lady drink.
Yeah.
You know, I've had a few people turn around and say like they remember the old and everything changes, but the old Simon Beer Bar Complex and all that kind of stuff. People do still like the old beer bar complexes, but they're just
they go on about the Simon Beer Bar Complex, right?
Yeah,
fantastic. But the last 2 years or 3 years of both Simon Beer Bar complexes, they were rubbish.
They did close for a reason.
Yeah,
and the old and again, sort of like if you look at. You know, it's definitely gone more nightclubby, hasn't it, rather than hostessy sort of type.
Yeah, you look at that Frog Bar complex now, which was built on top of and that is like a little nightclub, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was so funny. I went past there the other day, and they've got a live DJ. If you've not been, it's like about 8 beer bars, is it? 4 each side, or maybe 10?
I think it's about 10. I think it's quite...
Yeah, and it's just like an old beer bar complex, but they have got this super duper stage, fantastic lighting.
Light show at the back,
and they had a DJ there. And like, everyone was sitting there. It was a bit like going back to the 80s with Singer beer or Chang beers, just sitting there like. And there was this sparky DJ from Bangkok. By the way, that has been me on occasions. The DJ trying to hype the crowd up. They're all sitting down and he's going, "Put your hands up in the air, put your hands up in the air," like this, and everyone was just sitting there going, "Oh." The thing is, I've been there, but I've been that man on the microphone.
Was it? I can't remember. Do you know what? I think I know who it is when I'm saying this, but in one of the big, I call them the commercial go-go's, right? Because they're monster organisations, and I think people sometimes overlook this, right? When you look at the big boys that are on Walking Street, and I'm not turning around and making any generalisation. Was it one bloke he'd been there for about an hour and a half with one beer, and they just turned around and went, "Right, get out." Get out. Yeah. Listen, mate, it's high season, and you can't sit there for an hour and a half nursing one beer.
I do remember when it was draft beer everywhere. There was happy hours everywhere in the Go-Go's on Walking Street. There are some happy hours and there are some cheap draft beers, but they're really hard to find.
Do you know what? Actually, I'll tell you how out of touch I am. Is Living Dolls still going? Living Dolls 1?
No, Mark. That has been...
closed in 1984.
That has been a Russian go-go bar for about 4 years.
Is it on the ground floor?
The soy's not there anymore, is it?
The soy's not there anymore. Soy's gone.
I wonder why on my morning walks
you're walking up and down looking for it, and the whole soy that used to be there,
so there you go, listeners, by the way, from an expat that's got this finger on the pulse of a corpse. But Living Dolls Showcase is still going, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
There you go. Right, I've retrieved myself.
And that's the bar that's the furthest up, the western bar that's furthest up
towards Barley High.
Yeah. Because after you get past the tree, with the exception, I'd say, of iBar and Mist, it's very, very either Arabic, Indian, or
I'll tell you what,
Russian.
Patty are missing an absolute open goal here. We've got wicked coastline, right? And every other sort of city in the world has always got a marina, which is like the centre of the town, haven't they? With the nice bars and restaurants and all that. What have we got? We've got
Barley
a
High.
half-finished condo, right? A car
It's falling
park.
down, yeah.
Do you know what I
Which
mean?
doesn't work,
There's
yeah.
really, really big.
Well, there's a video I did called "The Curse of Barley High," wasn't
It's
it?
been
And
remodelled there, isn't it,
Everything that they've ever done there has gone wrong.
Yeah.
Everything.
They're
But
putting
I
a new
think-
pier up now.
Yeah, but I think indeed, yeah, they've been building it. But I do believe that there's some kind of maritime reason that there can't be a marina there. Is it because it's too shallow, the water?
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something?
yeah.
I don't know.
But I mean, they could redevelop it into bijou restaurants and all that down there.
Yeah, it would be nice.
Looking out over the harbour.
Yeah,
They could do. Maybe, who knows? There could be a Le Pub, Le Marina.
I'd love a.
I know
Le
that's
Pub-
always been the dream, isn't
Le
it?
Pub sur la mer.
So your dream, I know, because when I go walking with you in the morning, you're always looking at those like beach bars, going,
Yeah.
that was the dream, and instead you're
Yeah.
looking across the road at a building site and a tailor shop.
Yeah.
So
No, they're all green.
You know-
They're all green shops now.
yeah. And on your morning walk, as opposed to that, you're just like passing marijuana shops,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Mr. Weed and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah, it's really bad. But so, are there any other areas like? Do you go to Tree Town a lot, Flacky? Or
Do you know what? I do try and whiz round a few. When I'm out, I do try and whiz round a few of the bars. And talking about people that have sort of done well, I suppose you definitely have to put Danny Nobler.
yeah, I was going
into
to
that.
mention Danny.
Danny's got good sports bar down there, and there's a few.
Yeah.
There's Escape, which I think is like a gentleman's club. Go
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
there now, and Danny's got another one now at the beginning of Tree Town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I walk down there, actually, Tree Town kind of reminds me of what Pattaya used to be like in the modern day, only a bit better, right? I actually think those beer bars are quite good. And I
Yeah.
think if you're coming on holiday, sometimes people don't want to sit inside because they can do that at home. They want to be in the outdoor beer bar complexes. How long do I think they'll survive? Listen, I don't know, but Made in Thailand has reopened. So I do see a lot of the beer bar complexes gone, but Tree Town I think is doing okay.
What I think is definitely on the decrease and becoming rarer is a busy kind of daytime beer bar drinking scene.
Yeah.
And I
Probably
think
'cause of the
that's simply
gentlemen's clubs,
because of the gentlemen's clubs, yes.
Yeah.
But also the fact that there is some kind of climate change going on and it's getting warmer and warmer.
Oh, it's boiling. Yeah.
And you've got places like Terminal 21 and, Central, and they're air conditioned. And I think people want air conditioning during the day now because it is so warm.
I think it was like aircon used to be kind of like you used to put up. People used to put up with the heat, didn't they? I mean,
Yeah.
you know what, Phil? I know this is sounded like old Uncle Albert, right, during the war, but I do remember like the go-go bars were always back in the day good to go into because they had aircon and they weren't beer bars, right?
Yeah.
And then sort of Secrets came along and you had FLB,
Yeah.
and they were nice bars where you could just hang out and they had a bit of, and that was good. But I've got to be honest, a lot of my friends now, when they come over, they don't like to sit in the outdoor beer bars
No.
because of the heat. They
Because
do
they're too
actually
hot.
prefer
Yeah.
to sit in the bars that have got aircon and are
Yeah.
more comfortable and all of that type of stuff,
So I think the daytime, if you're with a girl, for example, let's go and eat on the beach, which we would done 20 years ago, or let's go to Terminal 21 and eat or something, and the girl's going to choose to go in the aircon every single time.
Oh, that's what. Listen, you're on my page. One of the misconceptions is you give them a bowl of noodles, they're happy as Larry. Are they? Exactly right. Most of the girls, when they're going out, right, they like to go to Shibushi. They like
Yep.
to go to the nice places,
Yep.
right? Why? Because they can post it all over their Facebook. So
Social
if you're
media,
coming over here and you're going to toss your girlfriend a bowl of somtam and wonder why she's pissed off, well, at the end of the day, right, they can get that anywhere. All of this, it's a waste of... I must be living in a different world because... Like
That has
I
been
remember,
said, though.
I go. You go to somewhere like Dicey Riley's on a Sunday, and I see. I'm not turning around and saying all of them, but those places are switched on, right? They have got Thai options there and salads
Yeah,
and all that.
yeah.
But the amount of Thai girls that I see that were eating lamb and pork and chicken and Falang style food,
Yeah.
it's just, I think people have got to sort of like, this ain't sort of, you know, what it was 20 years ago. And you've got like the girls are all on their social media and they're on the Insta and they're all on this, and it's very much that translates into a face thing. And I'm sure they have places that they prefer to go to, but the whole bowl of noodles, she's happy as Larry. She probably won't be.
There's a staff line group for my bar, the pub here on Seal Diamond, and every time a girl goes off for food, maybe with herself or with a customer or whatever, and it's a nice place, they'll always post the pictures in the staff group.
Of course.
They want everyone to see, oh, look at me, you know, look at me, I'm the lucky one. You're stuck in that place playing pool.
I can give, like, for anyone that's thinking of taking their girlfriend back somewhere or taking her on holiday and all that. Look, I'm lucky enough to live over here, and I'm heading off back to the UK with Pimmy at some point over this year. But one of the things that I would say is always make sure that you think about like Instagram and all that, because they want nice pictures, they want that nice experience, you know. I took Pimmy to the Eiffel Tower,
Paris, and
like it was sort of like, have you ever seen, if anyone's watching it, it's like National Lampoon's Vacation, and the Griswolds go to the Grand Canyon, and the car rolls up, they get out, and he goes, yep, and jump back in and drive off. That's basically what you're going to go. That was me and Pibby at the Eiffel Tower. Yep, good. Are you happy with that? Is that good? Right, let's get out of here, get back on the Eurostar, head back to London.
Didn't you go to Marbella or something after that?
Oh,
which
God.
was 10 times better than Paris.
Oh, no, this is so funny. We went to, where were we? We were in, so we did London for a bit. I got her a Schengen visa. We did London. Then we went over, we did Euro Disney.
We're not in Schengen anymore, are we?
Oh, no, we're not.
Were we in it before?
No, I don't think we're ever in.
We're never in it, were we?
Bye, all the people that wanted us in the European Union. How did that work out? Anyway, no, we won't go there. We're never going back, Phil. No, we got blue passports and everything. It's too late. It's too late. We'd have to change the colour of the passports. Anyway, so we did the Schengen visa, and then we went. So I thought, I need a cheap flight somewhere. Where can we go? And it just Alicante came up, and I said, "Oh, come on, Pim, do you fancy going to Spain?" And she's like, "Yeah, great." And then I noticed an hour from Alicante is Benidorm. I thought, "Oh, this is going to be great." So let's pop down to Benidorm. So we had a nice night. By the way, Alicante was wicked, and like there's some really nice bars and stuff around there. Really nice people, by the way, the Spanish, like, and then sort of like, I think we should use Benidorm as we could have solved everything that's happened out in the Middle East. We could have just turned around and said, "Listen, I tell you what, unless you guys sort it out, look what we've done to Spain and Benidorm, right? This is it. You're finished." But we went to Benidorm.
But Pim had a great time, didn't she?
She did. She loved it. I mean, it's a pound of... I posted. You know what? This would be a great cheap holiday. Now, this is true, right? But he might even be listening to this. I posted up on my Facebook, this would be a great... If you can't afford Pattaya at the moment, right? Don't really know why people look down on Benidorm. I mean, you got a bit of the old strip club going on. It's £1 a pint, blah, blah, blah. And somebody actually messaged me, threatening me, "You're destroying Pattaya. You're the one." I'm thinking, hold on a second. I've got a food group. I've done more to promote food in Pattaya than most people. I go on holiday to Benidorm and say, yes, you know what? It's not bad. But... funny enough, a load of my friends have just come back and they had a good time. So there you go, Benidorm.
Oh, that's very positive. Just before we go...
I wouldn't go back, by the way. It weren't that good.
We've just hit the hour, so we've got to wrap up.
Yeah.
We haven't mentioned any of Balloon Chasers content on your YouTube channel.
Have we not?
You've been having a little bit of an interesting time in Phuket, or rather, the journey coming back.
Well, yeah. I've been a few places since we last did the podcast, so always travelling about Thailand. All good fun. And my last trip was last week to Phuket, so flew out of there from Utapao, stayed with me mate Russell.
Villa Fans on tour.
Villa Fans on tour, yeah, both of us. Stayed in a couple of hotels out there. Phuket's absolutely packed. The prices out there, really, even like high season. Amazing, like hotels that I reviewed 9 months ago, 600 baht a night. Same hotels now, 3,500 baht a night for the same hotels. So prices are...
So a bar like this, Le Pub, price point about 100 baht a beer. How much would a bar like this be?
All I would say would be a bit more expensive The hotel prices and transport out in Phuket is like extortionate. They've got real big traffic problems as well. That's my opinion.
Massive.
I've got to say, I'm going off on a tangent, but you see some of these YouTubers and they go, yes, I'm going to the real Thailand. And they're in, with the greatest respect, they're in some middle of nowhere looking at a heap of rubble that could be absolutely anything and go, this was from the 20th. I think, but you know what? I've been up to the villages. Crap! I'm so happy that I live in Pattaya.
My mate Cop.
And I'm sure there's going to be some people that are looking at this going,
might disagree with that,
a typical.
Our friend,
but Phuket is supposed to be great. I should go there. I've been to Samui. I like Samui.
Have you not been? Oh, Samui I was in like 2 weeks before that.
I like Chawang Beach and all that.
Yeah,
it's
Chawang
nice.
Beach.
It's nice. It's nice for a change.
But if you haven't been to Phuket,
listen,
do go.
I think half of Pattaya are going to be on Samui for our national Songkran festival. But I don't know whether I'm staying for Songkran. I don't mind it as much as some people.
To America,
I'll be in America.
Yeah, he'd rather go.
Texas.
Tell you what, he'd rather go and look at where someone had their brains blown out rather than stay in Pattaya over Songkran, which says a lot.
Texas.
But then
sampling the ribs.
Phil was mentioning I tried to get back from Phuket, and being a YouTuber on my channel, I decided you can either fly back in 50 minutes or an hour, or I could go from Phuket by road to get on a train, overnight sleeper,
Richard
back into
Barrow
Bangkok.
style.
Think about the hits. Think about the traffic.
Exactly.
You've got to get on the. You've got to get on the train, or at least get some footage of you getting on the train.
It kind of worked out like that because I got a taxi over from Phuket over to the railway station in Surat Thani.
And
3,000 baht in a taxi to get over there, which is more than it would have cost to fly back. And got over there 50 minutes before the train was due to leave. My first class cabin overnight sleeper walked into the railway station. They announced my name only.
Leave them hanging. Leave them hanging there.
Oh, and you have to watch the video to find out what happened next.
Yes. You wouldn't believe what happened.
You wouldn't believe what happened next.
See, Flack, reel them in, reel them in.
This is like it's one of those cliffhangers. You'll have to tell me when we're off air. Actually, I'm dying to find out.
Really?
Yeah?
Really? Okay.
Did it involve a couple of girls that walked in and said, "Hey, we've lost our ticket. Is there any way that you could help us?
We've lost our suitcase. We've got nowhere to shower."
That would have been all
We're
right.
looking at somebody to drive us home.
That would have been all right. Okay. So how did I get back from Surat Thani after I was trying to get on the train?
My question would have been, why did you go? I'm sorry.
You have to watch the video to find out.
It is a really, really good video. And actually, I've never seen Balloon Chaser lose his temper, but he loses his temper. He does it properly.
I'm an Englishman abroad. Have you got any idea who I am?
Well, no, I did. I said, "Do you know who I am?"
And
they said, "Yes, we do. That's why we're causing you so much."
You're Mr. Egg's cameraman.
Yeah, yeah. That's why you've got so much problems going on.
You got to turn around and say, like, whenever you've been in problems in Thailand and you've been in problems with Thai people when you're speaking to somebody of a position of authority and you always try to do the old big I am, it's only ever going to go one way, isn't it? You're doomed. You're in deep trouble, you know.
Trust me, there was no big I am, but at one point they told me this is not actually on the video. This is, behind the
Just
scenes.
say no.
I'm filming what's happening or not happening.
We not care about you or your balloon. If you're not like, you can go back and support Villa.
And they told me,
shit team.
They told me you're not allowed to film here. You're not allowed to film this.
Yeah.
So I went, that's very interesting, and just continued filming.
Take your hand off me.
At which point, a bloke with a gun came and stood next to me.
Wow.
And then I did stop filming.
Oh, why didn't you put it?
For the reasons we've talked about, it's never going to end well, is it?
Wow.
So,
you see,
I'll tell you what.
cliffhanger.
Oh, God, you must have pissed some people off. You need to respect our host country.
Talking of a man with
people.
a gun, anyway, I'm going to be in America for Songkran.
Oh, you are, yeah, no, absolutely.
Plaza.
Listen, I'm fascinated with history and all that, so that'll be good.
Right, that's it then. Thank you so much, Mark. As
always
usual,
a pleasure to help you with a bit of content, and always a pleasure. And thank you for booking a Chinese buffet with Pimmy, and I
watch
appreciate
out for that. We're going to put that in the social medias. all over in the next few days. I hope you've enjoyed the podcast, especially if you're listening on Spotify or on iTunes or whatever. Thank you. If you want to come to our YouTube channel, the YouTube channel is called Le Pub Pattaya, and you can see what Flacky and Balloon Chaser and myself look like and sound like at the same time. And please subscribe and like and so forth. So from us here, this is Mr. Egg saying thank you very much.
Balloon Chaser signing off.
Yeah, cheers. Fatty's leaving as well.
See you soon.
Cheers, guys.
Wobble off then. See you later.
Bye.